What's up, everybody? We are back for another edition of I Dated Who. My name is Elmira. I am your host. On this broadcast, we talk about stories of dating in the advent of learning lessons and a little bit of laughter, a little bit of chatter, a little bit of tea, a little bit of all that. So today I want to talk about the time I dated Black Panther, a Black Panther. Why am I'm so twisting over my words. A Black Power misfit. Okay, that's what I'm going to call him. So let me just start the story out. I was living in Nashville. You all probably know already. I moved to Nashville in 2011, and this was around, I can't remember the exact date. I believe it had to be around 2016 or 2017. I know it was in that realm. And I would always, with me running a business, I would always go to Starbucks. And there was a Starbucks close to me. I would go there to work. And I kept seeing this guy. And I'm like, why is this guy always here? He was always there when I was there. So we started chatted it up. I saw one day he was reading this book. I think the guy's name is Amos Wilson. I never read that book. It's all about Black history and politics and that type of thing. I was like, okay, this seems because I was deep into my empowerment era at that time. Not so much now because I've learned this is a lesson in this dating story. I've learned when you lean too much, either way, this is in anything. It could be religion, politics, ethnicity, culture. You are not balanced. You are not actually operating in love when you're so rigid that you're like, black power, blah, blah, blah. You're shouting people down and you're like, they're doing the black man wrong. No, it's not. It's the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Love is universal. The true nature of source is love. So that's just a little side note, a lesson I learned from this. Needless to say, I was so enamored by him, especially, and you be telling yourself because you'll get this message. Oh, I keep running into him, so that must mean we supposed to be together. So that's what I told myself about this guy, David. I said, okay, I keep seeing him. We talk. I mean, I just had a crush on him completely. And let me tell you, I should have known something because one of those early days when I saw him at the coffee shop, I lost my journal. This was a treasure journal. It was a hardback, 8.5 by 11. I still remember what it looks like. Journal just disappeared. I called the Starbucks. I asked people, "Did you see it?" All little do I know, he could have stole it. I'm making up stories now, but okay. We started to talk. You know how you're in that talking phase and you're just learning each other, and I'm learning stuff from him. He's given me his background. He tells me he lives with his brother. He also explains to me he's still a virgin, all of this stuff. And mind you, this guy, same age as me, late 30s. I'm not a virgin. I told y'all my virginity story already on this I Dated Who. So I'm like, I mean, I didn't think anything of it because people can be a virgin at any age. We saw the movie 40, what is it, 40-Year-Old Virgin, and there was a show last year on TLC about people who were virgins into their 30s and 40s. No big deal. Thing is, I fell for him, and I'm using this word fell right here. I normally don't say this because I say rise in love. But in this instance, I did fall for him, and let me tell you why. I had not gone through my full healing yet. I was still stuck on my father and dating men who were similar to my father. So with him being this, oh yeah, we gotta do this for the black people and they're keeping us down. And like I said, this was 2016, 2017, similar to the times they keep running this program on us by these murders and stuff. So me on the phone, I'm like, yeah, yeah. In my head, I'm not like verbally cheering him on, but I'm going for it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. They trying to keep us down. They can't. Whitey is doing this, and I'm like, I didn't know this at the time, but looking back, I know that was not it. And let me tell you some things that were a clue. Because one time my friend Jeanette she hosted something. My friend Jeanette was a personal chef, so she would always host like dinner parties, different events. And I so wanted this guy to come over there. And my friend Jeanette knew. But you know how you have those friends who look out for you, but they're not going to tell you 100% what not to do because they kind of want you to figure it out for yourself. That's how Jeanette was. She was like, I'm not feeling that guy. And she was right. At the time, I was kind of in agreement with her. I would say maybe about 50%, but I still wanted to figure it out. You know, you want to figure it out for yourself. You need to learn the lessons for yourself. He eventually came to her house. He came to the event. He showed up late, so that was tick mark number one. And then he did display some things which lowered his score below the 50%. So I was now leaning on the side of my friend because I just started to see some of his character flaws. But needless to say, I was so stuck on I didn't fully trust myself at the time. I didn't fully love myself at the time. I was still abandoning parts of myself just to be with someone, just to be with a man, and particularly to be with a man who reminded me of my father. One day I remember I invited him over my place, over my apartment. I was living in my basement apartment, and I said, I'm going to cook for you. He came over and we had a good meal. It was delicious. It was so good. Um he left. Oh, let me tell you, because there was a lesson in this. I do thank him for this. Now, for some of y'all, this may be too graphic, but I have to tell the truth because he gave me a lesson. These stories are not about what somebody else did to me and what somebody else did to you. You still have to take ownership or responsibility for lessons you learned too. So that same day, after I cooked him dinner, we were starting to get a little intimate, touchy feely, and stuff. And then he told me, he said, what's going on down there? And by down there, I'm talking about my private parts. And he notified me. He said, it doesn't smell fresh. And he said, go take a shower. He wasn't crash about it or anything. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can clean up. Because I take direction well. I'm not a person who says, how dare you? I didn't put him out my house and say, how dare you say that? No other man has said anything about da 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 da. But let me tell you, from that day forward, he clued me into something because I did not know. Out of all my 30 something years, my mom did not show me the proper way to wipe. From that day, because I started to do some research on my own, you know how you get on YouTube University, and I was like, why do I smell down there? And then I saw these women teaching you the proper way to wipe was from the front to the back. And I was like, well, gosh darn it, no wonder I was smelling unfresh because my whole life, this goes to show you sometimes poor parenting or your parent may not have had enough time to spend with you to teach you the appropriate thing. I had not learned the proper way to wipe my vagina. That's just it. I was so stunned because how old was I? Yeah, I'm almost 40. I was like 37, 38 then. I was like, again, I said, no wonder. This is all making sense now. And then from that day forward, I did the right thing. Front to back. Front to back. It's like that Aaliyah song, but she said back, back, forth and forth. No, it's front, back, front, back. We got to go front, back, front, back. So some of these dating stories, you learn stuff you didn't even know because you're surrounded by men and women you didn't grow up with, men and women with varying perspective, men and women who teach you new things about yourself. So I am grateful I learned that lesson from him. Let me tell you about another time he came over. And this time I knew at the end of our, because we never became official or anything. I just called us casual dating. At the end of our casual dating period, or near the end of it, he came over one time and we just, what you would call dry hump. I'm just going to tell you what it was because he said, I'm a virgin. I do not want to technically have sex. This is what people do. But y'all tell me in the comments, just because somebody may not physically insert their penis into a vagina, does that make it not sex? I say no. That's not my belief. Any sexual activity is sex. Now, you may make a clarification and say, oh, that's sexual intercourse because it was like this, or it was oral sex, or it was this, or it was a kiss, it was a passionate kiss, or whatever. But I call that sex. So, so he was lying to himself. So I was basically, like I said before, I was ticking down marks, 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 marks. I was just, I was lowering him on my totem pole because he was lying to himself. Because I started to grow and I started to see I don't want to be around people who lie to themselves, who can't be honest with themselves. One of the last times we hung out was, I know he took me to breakfast. I met up with him to go to breakfast at Cracker Barrel. I think. Yeah, I know we went to Cracker Barrel one time. We also went to this place called the Garden Brunch Cafe. OMG. I don't think they're in existence anymore, but in Nashville, there was this delicious place called Garden Brunch Cafe. They had French toast. The owners were from New Orleans. I used to go there with this club. We called it our breakfast club. It was a collective of business owners, mainly business women in Nashville, and we would go eat. They had the best service. They had the best food, pancakes, bananas, Fosters, just anything you can name. I did have a good time with David. It served the purpose for what it was right then. Again, like I said, I learned a valuable hygiene lesson. I was in the place that I was in. It's the lesson, and it's the lesson for you too. Do not be shameful of your relationships or who you dated in the past because that's who you were then. You shifted your identity, you upgraded, you learned to listen to your friends more. I'm speaking to myself here. Do not say, oh my gosh, why did I date that girl? Why did I date that guy? You know why you dated him because that's where you were at that time. I know why I dated him. That's where I was at that time. I shifted. I grew. I even look back at pictures of me from back then. I'm going to actually see because I might be able to find a picture. I don't know, but if I can, I'm going to insert it here. So I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. And if I can't, it's okay. But I was a totally different woman then. I wasn't as sure of myself. I didn't dress the way I do now. Didn't wear my gold jewelry. Didn't do my hair the way I do it now. I didn't speak as boldly as I do now. So certain people thought they could walk all over me because I was walking all over myself. That's the truest testimony in dating. You will receive what you are putting out. Let me say that again. You will receive what you are putting out. So if you're in a position where you're complaining, oh my gosh, I don't get to date this type of guy, or I'm not dating this type of woman, nobody meets this standard. Are you meeting the standard for yourself? I can honestly say back then, about 10 years ago, I was not meeting that standard for myself. So look what I got. Look what I received. But I received a lesson. Like if I was at church right now, I'll say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the, because I could still be here 10 years later, not even learning the front to back. Ain't that something? But that's what we go through. We learn lessons. That's why you got to get on YouTube. You got to ask other people, ask friends, consult coaches, friends, mentors, elders. They going to tell you something that maybe your parents didn't tell you. Someone you're dating is going to tell you something that your parents didn't tell you. And it's okay. I didn't blame my mom. I did for a little bit, but I said, well, thank God I know now because that was it. I don't even know how we just stopped. I think for us, we just kind of drifted away. I recognize this was didn't need to go any further. There was never any official, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. I know there was a couple of other times that I kind of chanced upon him at that same Starbucks, but that was it. It's like he disappeared from my life. When it was time for him to go, he left. And I was glad because I didn't go chasing after him. Never go chasing after somebody you know is not 100% good for you, or at least 85% good for you. If you know they're not adding any value to your life, there's no reason to go chasing them. Because God, source, spirit removed that person for a reason. Okay? That is I Dated Who. We will see you next time. And if you want to contact me to share your story, I am here. Send us an email, idatedwho@gmail.com. We will see you on the turnaround. One love.